Everybody, I'm Tom Vassell.
Hi, I'm Z Garcia.
Sam Healy. What's up, folks?
What's with the?
I don't know.
I feel like I need to.
I'm gonna sound effects.
I gotta move over a bit here. You're like coming off the camera over there. All right. Well, folks, welcome back. It's the middle of the week. It doesn't feel like the middle of the week. It feels like the beginning. That's probably just because I'm high on schedule. But today we're talking about Kickstarter stuff. It is the middle of convention season now, or the beginning of convention season, which means a lot of Kickstarters will be started soon so that they can show them to you at conventions, which is what we'll talk about later today.
Okay.
Let's not mince words, though. Let's just jump into what's on Kickstarter right now.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got?
All right. Well, as always, our Kickstarters, I try to do them like ones that are going to end. Well, this one, the first one was 47 hours from now till around 2 weeks from now. So if you don't see one that you want, then it's probably not in that window, or it's not a good Kickstarter. So.
Or we didn't find it. That's okay too, right?
Yeah.
We should probably leave ourselves a back door.
No back door.
All right.
All right. Shirts by shirts. The polo shirts for gamers. I actually have a couple of these shirts.
Yes, you do, because you show up on the page.
You do.
Oh, I do?
Yep.
That I did not see. Where am I?
First one.
Keep going. Keep going. Look
Right
at that
there.
sexy beast.
Oh my goodness.
I think they could have picked a slightly better.
I agree. That was the best thing they could find in that whole video. They went through it frame by frame, and that was the best thing.
Well, these are for kids.
It's a nice shirt. Hey.
So what these are essentially is they are
Shirts.
chameleon board game shirts. Like you could wear this almost anywhere.
They change colors?
No, but nobody will be like,
They're like
Board
you
gamer.
attempt to de-geek slightly by wearing these, while still being like, if you see another geek somewhere, you're like, Hell Hydra.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
And you're like, well, there's some people. Nobody knows what
Hail
it is.
meeples.
roll the dice.
Yes.
So this one's actually not doing as hot as I thought it would. But here's what the thing
They're
is.
nice shirts, right?
They're nice shirts. They're polo shirts. Most kids don't want to wear polo shirts.
That is strange to me. The shirts for squirts thing, it's like, okay, but that's you making your kid wear a geeky shirt for you. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
It seems like the kid, because the
not
kid.
all of them, I guess.
I mean, that seems like a subtle adult shirt where you want a little something that says, "Hey, look, I'm into games. This is nice,
Right.
classy little logo."
Yeah.
Put it on the kid. Kid's not gonna want it. They want Spider-Man on their shirts.
Yeah.
Tom wants Spider-Man. I mean, have you seen that jacket? You know what I'm talking about.
Let's move on to the next Kickstarter. Tussie Mussie by
Is
Elizabeth
everything gonna rhyme
Hargrave.
today?
Right.
Shirt by Squirts. Tussie Mussie, this is from, what's the name of the company that makes this one? Jason Tagmeyer, well, I guess it's just him. He does these things called wallet games, where it's a little game that comes in a wallet. This one, they don't, I'm guessing this one is doing better than any other one has. But for one reason, Elizabeth Hargrave, also in parentheses, Wingspan.
He didn't mince any words there. By the way, this is a game created by...
Have you heard of Wingspan?
Yeah, right.
However,
Then back this.
one of the contributors, Dice Star Dave Luza, he is loving this game.
Yep.
He said it's really good.
It looks really good, and I like the Beth Sobel artwork. It looks to me like Herbaceous. It has that same look. The plans, the same art style, all of that stuff. Hey, this looks good. This was almost my pick of the week.
Button Shy Games is the name of the company.
That's it.
Button shot.
Yeah, I also
shot.
I like the theme of it, the Victorian language of flowers. When I was first dating, this was like relayed to me like, don't give a red rose because red rose means I love you, while a white rose meant something else. A yellow rose was like, let's be friends and all that stuff. I was
That's
like,
your wife calling
I was
you
like,
right now. You're like, what are you talking about?
all right. Anyway,
So it's like, I love you, and then a white rose is like, I like
Well,
you.
like
A
pink
yellow
rose-
rose is, hey, let's just be friends.
pink rose is we are happy friends. Honeysuckle is we are bound by love.
Ooh.
Pink rose, I can't
You just said
read
Is there a
it.
flower for stop calling
yeah.
me, please?
The black rose.
No, black
A
rose is
wilted rose.
the black rose is worse
Dead
than
petals
that.
in a
Yes,
box.
yes.
Alrighty. Anyway, that looks cool.
With the
It does
news.
look good.
Mayday's making a crokinole board for the 20th time.
Hey, it's for the masses. It is cheaper than a lot of crokinole boards. This one's $100.
It's actually one of the cheapest crokinole boards that there is, I think.
I agree, and they look good.
You can put a clock face on it.
Okay.
And make it a wall piece thingy.
I guess, but can you remove it and play it?
Yeah, it like sits in there, but I don't know. I don't. Do they still? Is this still on this one where they talked about the clock thing?
Yeah.
I kept meaning to do that. Then I was like, I don't want to hang my crokinole board on the wall all the time.
I would just worry about the wall's integrity. Honestly, those things are not light.
Heavy, right? Yeah.
That's cool. That's not bad.
I will say this is one of the first Kickstarters where I actually had the thought, I might back this.
Yeah, really?
Like of any Kickstarter ever?
Well, usually, I mean, yeah.
Wow.
Right now I'm kind of dressing the walls in my apartment, so this.
Yeah.
I have one wall that's like really bare. That would make a good centerpiece for the wall.
That's cool.
But
they look good, and honestly, again, for $100 for a custom-made.
Video is blurry. Somebody was saying that. I don't know why.
Connection might be a little spotty. We were having an issue a little bit when we started. It looks good to me, yeah.
All right, Agia Shifting Sands. So this is a reprint, I believe,
That's
of Agia from Stronghold Games, who's once told me they would never use Kickstarter. But anyway, a brand new modernized edition and the Kickstarter exclusive classic edition you don't love. What do they mean by Kickstarter exclusive? Are you not going to be able to get this one in the store?
Keep going down. Maybe it's
there's stuff that's in.
Yeah, okay.
Includes all components for classic Agia, which I think is dumb. It's like, hey, here's some extra, not upgraded stuff. Thanks. It always bugs me when
Some
companies
people
do
like
that.
the original. It's a good game.
Yeah, but if
Have you
we're
played
gonna
the original?
No, I'm just
It's a
saying.
good game.
I believe you.
I hope so, because I'm to be trusted.
But if we're talking about consumerism, getting double components seems to be wasteful.
Nah, baby, it means more stuff in my Kickstarter. Have you seen Joan of Arc?
All right.
No, I haven't yet.
Okay, so anyhow, here's a Kickstarter exclusive. I do like that stuff. That looks good. River cards, Sphinx cards, grave tokens, and a foil stamp on the cover. So that when someone comes by, they're like
I'm better than you!
Foil stamp.
Oh, I gotta walk the rest of the way to my car. Like that.
Alrighty. So you said this is a good game. Do you have it?
Game. No, I don't. I never did buy it back in the day before
Somebody
it went
was
out of
picking
print.
this as your pick of the week.
No. Oh, I never
played
played
the
it.
original. Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
This is one of those games that went out of print, and I was surprised hadn't come back yet.
I'm not surprised anymore. I just assume everything's coming back in print.
Yeah, it just took longer than I expected because it was a very well-liked Euro game from good designers.
Sailing towards Osiris, Pharaoh's Pyramid. This is an expansion. This one, I'm kind of shocked, hasn't funded yet. Daily Magic is a pretty strong company.
Yes.
And this is an expansion to a game that already existed. They already kickstarted. Why would it not have funded yet?
I don't know. I never did play the original.
Did you play the original?
Yeah, you're like the boat's going up down the river and you're trying to build these monuments. You're collecting resources.
Right.
It was good. I
Kind of
didn't-
interesting.
I didn't
that
think it
these
was
two
great.
are back to back. That's almost the same theme.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that's why. Although I think this one's 5 days and this one is 4 days out. You're right. They are pretty close to each other. Huh?
Hey, that's unlikely, but it is a connection that I'm only spotting because they're directly next to each other.
Alrighty. The 100 Torii. This is
baby.
a really pretty game.
Look at that
Stop.
gorgeous artwork.
Whose artwork is it?
Well, if you ask that, I'm going to have to assume it's
Vincent Dutrait.
Vincent Dutrait.
Can't
You
tell.
mean you can't tell?
Look at
Well,
that.
That is
Look at
so
that gorgeousness.
recognizable.
Man, is that Vincent Dutrait's artwork?
That is Vincent Dutrait's artwork.
That's some nice artwork.
That's some nice artwork.
I like tile laying games with the way they look on the
Yeah.
table.
Tile laying, got it.
If the tile laying doesn't look like every tile is the same, that always bugs me a
Different
bit.
tiles, got it. Vincent Dutrait artwork done. That's it. You convinced me. Pick of the week from me.
Really? Your pick
Sold.
of the week?
Throw it up there, son.
Well, you might as
I
well
think it was
throw
the-
mine up there too because it's my pick of the week as well.
Yeah, baby.
Really?
Yes.
Look at that.
Now, I'll have to. There was another one that was a very, very close second. I actually asked Roy if he would allow me to pick two picks of the week.
No. He said
And
no,
he said
right?
no.
Good.
Good, because I would have said that too. That's where you have an almost thing.
Yeah, it looks good.
There's a lot of collaboration in this, which makes me happy. I like the tokens. This is one I would like to see when it comes out.
And this is one of the games that uses Vention to Trade's artwork in the entire game.
Not just the cover, and then
Not just the cover.
hello, Space Gate Odyssey.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's prominently featured on the box. It looks like at least every piece of the game has his artwork on it. This is using good artwork and doing it right.
It looks really good.
It does, and
So,
I really enjoy tile laying games as well. So
and I've enjoyed Pencil First. Their productions, I don't like every one of their games, but you know what?
I don't either. But
A
they
lot
have
of them
some-
I do like.
and they don't full round production
I think
wise.
they're a good publisher. So yeah, pick of the week.
All right, now we're at. I don't know how to pronounce this.
Ikayon.
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 Look at those miniatures. Now these guys, Eola Games, they've created 5.
It could be Isaion.
It could be.
I'm so
I doubt it.
glad we're having this conversation. All
How
right.
about no one knows because it's a made
So
up
the
word.
last one they did, I haven't seen this one yet, but Miss Thea, which we were just talking about
Yep.
earlier, is from these guys.
Well, these guys
Barbarians the
like
Invasion,
weird
I think you played
titles
that
then.
one, right?
Okay, got it.
Nope, I never played Barbarians the Invasion because it looked like it was barbarians, and it's actually barbarians, and
With suitcases.
yes, and it just doesn't.
What game was that?
Barbarians the Invasion. It was a very mechanical game. Just did not like it. Didn't catch my attention at all after I.
Look at that cool Colossus miniature.
Look, you get plastic little stone.
Yeah, okay, whatever. This stuff looks cool.
It looks amazing.
All of
3D
it looks
renderings,
amazing.
obviously, it's not the final thing.
Yes,
it
but I've
looks
seen
good.
their miniatures from their previous game, and
it's
they
good
look
stuff.
like that in person.
It is good
And those
stuff.
look freaky as all get out.
How many tentacles are in this?
None.
It's all machinery.
that's why you
This
don't
is
get
my
my
pick
pick
of
Wait,
the week.
there's some tentacle-looking stuff.
Nope, not tentacle enough.
Anyway, this is my pick of the week.
Ooh.
It's based almost solely on their last one,
look.
Miss Thea.
This is second.
No.
This is my very close second.
Because
pick of the
these
week.
guys are doing a good job at that whole looks like Ameritrash with all these cool components, but it's kind of a Euro game in a
Right,
lot of ways.
right.
I'm totally on board with that.
Looks good. I hate the title.
I got
We
to.
got to stop picking things that are unpronounceable.
Well,
That's part of the fun, though.
I'd rather that than Dungeon Raiders or, some really generic name.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Can't-
There's one coming up that I definitely have that feeling about.
Ooh, I like that. I didn't see that.
Somebody-
That's
And yeah, it's creepy.
ooh, that's a cool mini.
Somebody says it's Ikayon or Ikayon, yeah,
Ikayon.
Ikayon.
Whatever, I'm going to mispronounce it no matter how. Just tell me the right way so
Yeah.
I know how to do it wrongly.
Yeah, I got to play Miss Thea over
They ain't
the
fooling
weekend.
around with the exclusive miniatures.
Right.
Yeah.
You played Miss Thea?
Yeah, I was able to play Miss Thea over the weekend, and so when I saw this one up here, it was very high up there because I really enjoyed Miss Thea.
It's Mist Heya.
Whatever.
All right, anyhow.
Missed. Yeah.
Monkey the card game. Speaking of generic names,
Yeah.
There's a lot of monkeys on here.
This one was not my pick of the week.
I like how they use the different kinds of monkeys, I guess you could say.
Ape, the card.
I'm not. Here's the thing. I like the artwork. Like I'm like,
do?
oh no,
Really?
no,
Yes,
hang on.
I do.
I'm saying some of the artwork I like, and then I look at stuff like this, and I'm like, oh,
You like the wizard monkey?
that's not too bad, right? It's okay, but that graphic design on those cards is really bad.
Yeah.
You're having a more forgiving day than I am.
Yeah, the numbers look horrible.
I'm sorry, that doesn't look good.
The whole thing looks very amateurish, for sure.
Yeah, the characters look good as far as the artwork is concerned, but everything else is like,
It's hard. I mean, I get it. It's Kickstarter. This is what it's there for. Don't get me wrong. It is just hard to look at the last 2, 3 we've seen here and then switch to
that,
this.
yeah.
And you go, oh, right.
Oh.
Kickstarter.
These guys were at UK Games Expo because I remember the gyrating hamsters thing, and I walked a wide berth. All right,
Wide berth. Papillon.
Papillon, yes. I feel like we've seen this one before.
We have.
Another French thing, déjà vu.
Yeah, well, there was a whole thing with this one where Kickstarter pulled it for whatever reasons. Kickstarter pulled it, but it's back, and happily, it looks like it's making all the same amount of money it made the first time through.
All right, good.
I really like this one. It's really pretty.
Yep.
It has several things that are in other games kind of put together into one. I thought it worked really well.
Tile laying also.
Yep.
The only negative thing I would say about the game was, I think you agree with me on this, was that it wasn't always easy to see what was on the flowers.
Agreed.
Like I would turn
because of the 3D nature of it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because I really liked the 3D nature of it,
Right.
and then it worked against me.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a lot of flower games out these days. That's like the new
clips
dungeon.
though look like the ones that we had were not as easily or readily available. The color was not, but it looks like these clips look like they're all going to be pretty distinguishable.
Yeah, these do look like they're easier to tell apart
So
than
that
when we were
might
playing it.
help a little bit with the problem that we had with it.
Is our video on there? I didn't even look.
Well, you think you blew past it. Right there, preview. That wasn't it?
No,
that was Mark.
Talk about the live playthrough.
Oh.
This is fun.
They didn't have it. They didn't use it.
Moving on. Easy profit game. Play CEO and make millions. And it was fun. Okay, now listen. Yes, I get that. I'm with you. But it made $21,000. So my question is, why?
Because Monopoly is the best-selling game of all time.
Sure, but Monopoly is also in place. It was popular at the beginning for a reason, and now it's held that.
Why do they have a big pig on the front of the box? That's what I want to know.
Okay, so first of all, fake high five, right?
No, that's real. That's legit.
She's like, I wasn't ready.
Have you seen some of their? They're like, oh, we make what is it? Making finance fun and easy. Did you read a lot of this? Because I kind of went through it.
Finance doesn't have to be boring.
This was
if you
rough.
have to make that statement,
no, I mean,
it's going to be boring.
Look, here's how it works. So you basically roll dice. You got teams. Keep going. Choose a region. I don't think it matters. You roll dice. You got evens. You do one thing. You got odds. You do the other one. And then most of everything else is like flip a chance card.
oh,
That's kind of what it is. Like, you'll flip a card.
This must but I'm
Here, this part. Roll a die. Do you do that kind of card or that kind of card? And then the card tells you things like, basically a chance card. Sell this thing, make $20,000. Like, you win a beauty contest. Here's $50
Look,
or whatever.
I'm not arguing with you that the game looks bad. There are lots of bad-looking games. I'm trying to figure out why this one is funding. There has to be a reason it's
maybe
funding.
It's from a company that is a finance
This guy says he's a
company.
former NASCAR driver.
There you go. Done. It's that NASCAR money.
these are all his fans.
Well, I don't
Yes.
know. I don't know why it's.
Have you backed it? I backed it.
You're such a liar.
I want to get better at finance.
I haven't backed a single one of
Clearly,
these.
I need it because I backed this.
And it's cheaper than taking a
Too many
college
bones,
class.
splice and diced, just shy of. Never mind. Over $500,000.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, this blew my mind right here. Funded in 86 seconds. I saw that. I'm like, okay, yeah, but how much was their funding goal? $50,000. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll be quiet.
Oh.
Holy smokes!
Well, these guys were at UK Games Expo 2, and they were swarmed every time I went by.
Yeah, Too Many Bones really took off, man.
Now this looks neat. This
That's
Tyrant
it, man,
Matt.
because they were doing decently well with their Hoplomachus line, but this came out, and it's like,
Yeah, this has really changed everything. So, yeah, people are really liking this game. I'm gonna have to play. I haven't played this one in a long time. I'll have to get around to playing it again. I haven't played the last expansion or anything. It's a very thoughtful, combat game, where you guys are moving around in this thing. It's a
It's like Gloomhaven-ish.
No, it's not Gloomhaven, because Gloomhaven's like in a big dungeon moving around. Here, it's a really small tactical board.
Okay.
You're just moving with piles of poker chips, and then you have special abilities, but you have custom dice for each of the miniatures that are customized for you specifically, but you get, as you upgrade, you get new dice. There's like 20 dice per character. So that's kind of cool.
yeah.
Okay.
Monstro City Rampage, which I'm kind of surprised they're allowed to use that word there.
Monstrosity is what I say, but
Yes.
I assume.
But Monstro City.
That makes more sense than what I
But
said.
Monstro City, the way they're using
they
it.
use it.
Yeah, I don't know. This looks like a video game. I mean,
Yeah, but
the
how are they
artwork-
allowed to use the word rampage?
Because it.
It's not
the-
copyrightable,
yeah,
I assume, by itself. It's not specific
Right.
enough.
This artwork looks almost the same as the other company we were talking about.
To me, it looked like a nap, like those apps on the phone.
Yeah.
It has a real iOS game look to it.
At
I
first,
want this to be good.
Yeah.
At first glance, I was like, this looks like another version of King of Tokyo or something to that effect. But then it's real time.
Yes.
You have 5 2-minute rounds, and you're trying to find and smash this guy's home base. So it's not like King of Tokyo.
Right.
And I was actually looking at it. Bobzilla, that's like a
I'm
redneck
laughing at
dinosaur.
Furious George. Furious George.
His curiosity got the best of him.
And now.
So you like this, Tom? You think you'd enjoy it?
No, I don't know. I'm hoping. I have hope on this one. I'm not even assuming it's good. I'm just hoping it's good because I like this theme a lot. I like
Sure,
giant
sure.
monsters, and I would say probably more giant monster games fail me than win me over. King of Tokyo is good,
Yeah.
but how many others? There's not many. They
Right.
usually make me sad.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not completely writing it off, but that real-time part of it, the real-time dice rolling part of it.
My main concern with that mechanism is that usually the game has too much tacked on to be a real-time game. A real-time game, dice chucking, real speed kind of game, needs to be really pretty simple because you can't stop to ask questions. It needs to be clean, and there's a lot of tokens and symbols and stuff on this page.
Yeah.
That's my concern. That's the usual trap. It's an
Right.
attractive trap, but it is a trap.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Yeah, I'm hoping it's good, but I don't know.
Rooms and Boards Game Cafe.
Room and boards.
Room and Boards.
I like that title, by the way. That's a nice
is
title
cool.
for a cafe.
Yeah.
And it looks classy.
It does.
The
It
sign looks
does.
classy. I always like pointing these things out because I like to point out cafes and stuff. And this one is where is it? Portland? Did they say?
Idaho, I think is what they.
Oh.
I don't know.
After they went to Portland.
Yeah, but I know they are in
Treasure
somewhere
Valley.
It says Treasure Valley is Idaho, I think. I can't
okay.
remember. I can't remember, but Boise, Idaho is what I heard. What I think I read somewhere on the page. Don't quote.
It
This
looks
is
good.
cool.
It's a nice looking place.
This is cool, and I hope it does well. Again, I hope that all these cafes do well. They're not all cafes are going to succeed, but
Gator Dave says he does not like that title for a cafe.
Room and boards.
Yeah, room and boards. I think it's cool.
It's kind of neat. I mean, they're always kind of like little puns.
Maybe if it was like a bed and breakfast.
Instead of a cafe.
Yeah.
ooh, a bed and breakfast, but you also can play board games there. I'm telling you, board game hotel,
interesting
it's
concept.
on the horizon. That's my retirement plan when I make my Dice Tower Millions.
So yeah, it's probably not going
You
to.
know what you need to do? Back that finance game. That'll teach you how to get there.
You're right. That's like the guy's like, you want to learn how to make lots of money? Pay me $200 and I'll tell you how. So basically, he asks people for money.
Yeah, Kabuki Kid is saying with a name like that, it makes you think that they have rooms for rent too.
Sure, I get that. I get
Yeah.
that.
Look at this. I like this one. This one just says, project is funded.
Thank you, backers.
It doesn't say like,
How long?
260
Doesn't-
50%,
yeah,
3
doesn't
days.
Toot their horn too much, but
But it also has a hammer
Dice.
and dice.
Of the giants.
They're just giant 20-sided dice. What do you think about the font?
That's the only thing I have a concern with.
Yep,
It's
nope.
horrible.
yes.
It's not easy to read, right?
It is. No, I mean, no. It's horrible. It's really bad. I mean, I glance at that. I can't tell if it's an 8 or a 6.
It's
It's
an 8.
bad. It's really bad.
I just don't know why they like. I guess
I'm sorry. Look at the clarity of that die next to it on the left.
Yeah.
And then those numbers. That die is what? 4 times as large
The 2 and the 5.
And I can't tell what the numbers are.
The 2 and the 5 are horrible. The 5, the 6 and the 9 are almost mirror images of themselves.
Ugh.
It's just not a good.
I was
font.
gonna back this until I saw the font. Actually, I love big giant dice.
The fact that they don't have alternate ones. That's the only
Yeah,
one,
it's
right?
really weird.
God, I'm sorry. That's a bad look.
And it looks even worse on a 6-sided die.
Ugh.
Yeah, I like the colors. I like the mixtures.
The color combination.
Ah, boo! Get an alternate font, and we'll back it. All right.
Agreed. That would have been my pick of the week. No, it wouldn't have.
We're like, I'll stop and look at them. Right.
This was an immediate turnoff for me.
Because it looks like a Game Boy?
8-bit. No, the 8-bit.
The artwork is really rough on this. I don't like that look.
I do not like the look at all.
I got as far as the cards.
Look at that guy's getting stabbed. Watch. Stab. Stab.
And then he runs.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I got as far as I saw this. I was like, no. And then there's one part where they show cards up close. There. Where was it? I just saw the text on cards and I was like, nope. It looks really hard to read. I just don't like that look. And I know there's that nostalgia there, but
yeah, that's another thing.
Oh, Mark says it's a really neat video game style play.
Yeah.
Did they make an 8-bit Mark? That's not Mark. That's Berkey.
Yeah, it does look like Berkey, actually. Yeah, but this is, I mean, it could be a very cool game. It could be very fun, but
once again, I don't understand.
Just turns me off.
No, okay, this one is about video games, but for goodness sake, come on now.
yeah.
It looks like a Game Boy. I hope the game is good, but it's just another game that's about 8-bit video games, and it's not even in the first 10 that have done this.
Right.
8-bit video games have been done to death as a board
I wonder
game
how
thing.
games get away with that. I mean, that looks like a Game Boy.
Because the Nintendo hasn't seen this yet?
You think? Because I'm pretty sure they would be.
It's also very parody. It doesn't say Game Boy.
It looks identical to it. I assume they have blueprints that are copyrighted with the button layout and such.
People are saying it looks like a level 99 game.
Yeah, sure, but it's so heavy-handed, that 8-bit artwork. It pushes me out.
Somebody says they're a sucker for 8-bit graphics, brings back good memories, so there is that nostalgia
Sure,
factor
and I
that's
get
working
it. That's
for
what they're banking on.
All right. Iron Clays and Spades. This is from Roxley Games, and these are based on the chips that they made for Brass, Birmingham. And
Now, no joke, this was almost my pick of the week.
this is like a hair away from being my pick of the week,
Yeah,
because
this is
these
insanely
are
gorgeous.
awesome. Except this, I was like, oh yeah, this is cool. I'm gonna get these. So I went down like 100. Ooh, 200. Oh, 200 with a wooden chest. Wait, what? It went from 95 Canadian dollars to 207 for a wooden chest. It also comes with cards. I don't care about any of that stuff. I just want the chips.
270, yeah.
That's a huge amount. Then I was like, okay, well, where's other big amounts? No, if you want more, you got to get that wooden chest. And I'm not saying that wooden chest isn't pretty. It is.
Yeah.
But I don't want to pay $200 for a wooden chest or $1,000 for a monitor stand. Yeah, it's right. I was going to work it in somewhere. I'm just going to get the chips. But yes, I've already backed it.
I knew it!
They look really good, man. They're really good. Yeah, this was almost my pick. Yeah, it's expensive. That's the only reason why I'm not like, whoop. But
I don't even think it's that bad of a price, really, for like the 200 chips for 95 Canadian dollars, which is about $22. No, it's 71.
$22.
$71 for 200 really quality chips.
yeah, they are.
Really quality poker chips usually cost on average $1 a chip. So that's a pretty good discount.
Yeah.
No, like those ones that I've had that we've been using for years,
I know.
they cost $1 a chip. So
Yeah.
And these blow those away.
We've been using those for years?
The ones he's got in the table or had in the table or
I
whatever.
forgot they were there.
we take them to our What's in Wagers games and play them. Remember?
Oh, okay, those, yeah, okay. I got you.
But these, and we've seen these in person, they just blow those away. These are stunningly
Well,
made.
also most
They're-
poker chips look like poker chips, right? I want something that looks like a chip, not necessarily a poker chip that doesn't have little
Oh, the
suits of
lines.
cards around the
Sure,
sides
yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever. But
I want to learn how to do that. That's my main thing. Go the other way. Yeah, that. I just want to be like,
Oh, to be able to shuffle chips?
Yeah, man. And then deal them out and play poker with the chips, but we bet with cards.
It sounds like some Stranger Things going on right there.
The upside down.
That's right.
Starving Artist, the second printing of the award-winning hit.
This gets my pick of the week for having the most unintuitive thematic disclusion ever.
Dissonance, you mean? Like it's dissonance?
Sure, yeah, whatever.
Like the front, this doesn't look like the paintings?
No, I'm talking about the actual mechanisms of the game.
Well, I actually think this looks interesting. You actually put the colors onto the painting.
I totally agree with that. So you can do three things on your turn. You can either continue painting one of the canvases you already have.
Cool.
You can buy a new canvas to start painting it.
Cool.
Or you can go buy paint.
Cool.
Or work to go buy paint.
Mm-hmm.
You know how you buy paint? You draw it blindly out of a bag.
That's how I buy paint.
Yeah, I mean, I walk into the paint store
Go to the
and
store and be like,
blindfold myself and then pick out the colors I'm going to
shuffle all the
One
swaths,
time
and this is what I'm
I
getting.
came home with a tube of toothpaste.
Well, this is going to be
I made a gorgeous minty white sky out of it, though. Hey, man, I'll show you. It's beautiful.
I'm sure you would.
I call it a fresh morning.
But
It has good ratings, though. People did like the first version.
I've heard good things from other people in the past about this game.
I mean, I don't like.
You just don't like pulling stuff from a bag.
Drawing things randomly out of a bag.
That's your thing.
But at least with Thebes, it
Triggered?
makes sense.
That's true. You are digging in the sand or the dirt.
It makes sense that you have to draw blindly.
So you're saying Thebes is good?
No.
Thebes is
At least it makes more
Thematic?
thematic
Yeah.
sense. This makes no thematic sense whatsoever. Artists do not blindfold themselves when they go pick out the colors they're going to use for their painting.
I feel like when I've seen some paintings that they may have done that.
They have done that. But, it just...
that bothered you, yeah.
Oh, man, that just rubs me the wrong way completely.
All right, Imperium the Contention.
There it
ahead.
is. That's the one I
Go
was
ahead,
talking
Z.
I
about.
was just about to say, I know you're going to go off on this name.
Well, like I said earlier, I don't like the generic weirdo names because I can't pronounce them, but you're right that it is better than this. This just looks generic.
But when I see this picture, it still looks generic. That is so generic. A space lady, generic alien, holding, I don't know what he's
Glowing
holding.
thing, man. Look at that. Science fiction, kids.
And that...
Now, here's the great thing, and we'll talk about it in 1 second. Once you go to the next one after this, leave it on that piece that has the layout on the cards, okay? Because you'll see
All right,
when you compound generic on generic.
here we go. You ready?
Yeah. Okay, scroll down a little bit.
Halls of Horror.
Keep
Yeah,
going.
look at that.
Keep
Oh,
going.
hey,
What
hold
is
on.
that?
Hold up.
That is
Is this the
another
horror version of the
5x4? Okay, this is 5x5,
That's different.
and that's 5x4.
Original.
Yes.
I saw them back to back and I was like, hold up. Come on, man. That does not look interesting.
All right, going back to here. Maybe it's good, but
Maybe it's spectacular. Don't get us wrong.
Right. Yeah.
It just looks generic. And at least for me, I'm a sci-fi guy. I can't even rest on the whole, well, it's not for me thing.
Yeah.
This is my jam. I like this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, these card frames on this Dead Sea CG.
that's what I was about to say. It looks just like an old
Come
CCG.
on, man. It's like, you're pushing me out and I should be your target. It just looks dated. Yeah. The horror one after this looks a little bit better. It still looks kind of generic, but it looks a little
I'm
better.
not a fan of the artwork on it. That Halls of Horror looks like Halls of Virtual Horror, maybe.
Yeah, man.
And then this page itself has all this kind of...
Look at that. It's like
Wow.
playing my Nintendo, my Sega Genesis 32X all over again.
Ben is thinking.
That looks like Dominic from the artwork looks
Fast
like
and Furious?
yeah, from Fast and Furious.
Ian is... These guys are not like a very heroic poses. Well, Mia's kind of better than the other
She's
one.
missing in action, actually.
Oh my word! Oh, this guy is just killer. Hi.
What's wrong with his face? Is he a zombie?
He's got a mask on.
Okay.
We don't know.
No, he's definitely got a mask on.
Whatever, moving on.
It looks a little better, like I said.
Dragon's Interest. This is another one that surprised me that it hasn't funded yet because it's Tasty Minstrel.
Well, this is a reworking of Ponzi Scheme.
Is it?
Is what it is. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't realize that.
So
And neither did he.
go down.
I love this game.
Have you seen Ponzi? Have you played Ponzi Scheme?
I have.
I believe that's what this is. Does that look familiar to you? I haven't played Ponzi
You
Scheme. I
bid
just
one.
read it.
Oh, you're getting interest from the dragon? You know what then? That's why the game isn't so hot, because it's a game about taking loans from a dragon. That's like a very small Venn diagram of people who care about that. Let's go to the dragon and get out a loan. Woohoo! Try not to pay it off. Yeah, Ponzi Scheme is actually a good game. I didn't like it because it was too stressful for me. It felt like paying debts off in real life, and I'm not a big fan of that.
Yeah, but
you're
when
like
you
spiraling
throw in
on
a
the debt.
dragon, it's all good because they're not real. So I think this will be much better. Taking debts from dragons, stressful, not as stressful. Dragon doesn't have my phone number.
I can't tell if you're joking on that, but I don't
kidding.
actually disagree.
I'm joking.
It probably is a little bit less stressful because it's less realistic.
Right.
Yeah, I still thought this would be doing better.
It looks pretty. The theme probably does not make a whole lot of sense, but it looks pretty.
All right, and finally,
What do we got?
Space Invaders, the board game.
Pixels.
So I'm assuming they have, well, yeah, but here they have the license, right?
For what?
Space Invaders.
What is that?
Don't stop trolling.
All right.
Thank you.
But this is totally like, it looks like a mass market game, unfortunately.
Sure, sure.
I look at this and I'm like, yeah, that looks like if I went to Toys R Us in 1980 and bought a game called Space Invaders, it would look like that.
I think they did that on purpose, of course.
Even the board game, I'm not talking about the graphics, I'm talking about the way the board game looks.
Yeah. I think they may have done that on purpose. They're trying to make it look as much like the video game as they can.
Yeah, man.
Ooh, this spectacular perk, a limited edition diorama. How much?
$40. I don't know.
990. How
What?
badly?
What?
How badly do you? Well, it comes with a certificate of authenticity.
From Taito.
Also,
Taito.
what?
Oh, Taito?
6 people backed it, dude.
6 people back there. That's
But there's limited. There's only 500 of those.
that's a whole lot of money if you sell all 500.
And this game is instantly collectible. You can only get it through Kickstarter, and you'll never get it again. Oh, we think.
No, that's not what it means. You
Oh,
cut that
you're right.
sentence off.
Yeah.
the
You're
word.
right. I did a
entertain
media
you.
I did a media
Yes,
cut there, didn't I?
Come
You
on,
did.
man.
I read too fast. So
All right.
we think it will not only entertain you yet, but they're definitely saying get it now or never get it.
You know, I don't really care for this theme, but hey, you know,
I like Space Invaders, but as a nostalgia thing, like I played it when I was a
that
kid.
sells.
It was a lot of
Nostalgia
fun.
really sells.
But I don't play Space Invaders today.
I get it, but some people do. Some people will have the, you know, the machine, the arcade machine in their house.
Yeah, I'm surprised this one though did not go to
Is it
IDW.
funded already?
Yeah, that's what I immediately thought when I saw this. I was like, oh, IDW is continuing their video game line.
It's doing well.
But it's not.
This is a different one. This is Cirrus.
Have they made other things?
No, not on Kickstarter.
612.
He's made over 100 games. Sure. What does that mean? Here's a bunch of collaborators. I don't know, Bagger Kit and all, but I don't know any of these people.
All right.
Nah. Alrighty, well, that's our look at Kickstarters for the week. Thanks so much for joining us at that point. Let's continue on with the show, though, and jump to some contributors.
Hey folks, welcome back to our Dice Tower Preview Recap. I'm Mark, and today we're going to be taking a look at some Kickstarter games that we recently did previews for. However, due to shifting schedules, we've only got one this week to take a look at, and it is Dungeon Brawler. In Dungeon Brawler, you take on the role of one of 4 adventurers descending into a dark dungeon. Your reason for being there might be glory, it might be justice, it could be revenge, or simply profit. But you and your fellow band will be adventuring through this dungeon, trying to stay alive and reach the very end. Dungeon Brawler is truly a fully cooperative game. However, it's got a pretty decent solo mode to it as well. You have these NPCs, sellswords, that you can use in place of other players, and they really add a lot to the game, allowing you to play solo, which I've done several times. This is truly a dungeon crawl in a single deck of cards. And you have your standard types of heroes you'd expect from a dungeon crawl like this. They all have unique abilities or actions they can perform, changing up your gameplay every time you use a different hero. And I have rocks in my shoe again. Heroes trudging through a dungeon never seem to have this problem. So in that old style video game side scroller, that's what this game boils down to. You have rows and columns, well, mostly columns, that play into the different cards' activations. And once you get the basic rules down, really the text on the bottom of each card dictates what's going to happen next. So this is a deck builder, and obviously you're trying to go for bigger and better loot in order to get amazing weapons to go after these creatures and defeat the dungeon. But you have to be mindful because your deck of cards also doubles as your character's health. So there's some nice trade-offs here, decisions to be made as you spend cards in order to defeat the dungeon. So like any good dungeon crawl, there's all kinds of creatures and enemies to deal with. However, there's also good things in the dungeons. You can find food, you can find potions to revive yourself, but also there are traps, so beware. And doors to deal with. Who knows what lurks behind some of those secret doors. So as you continue your journey through the dungeon, you will run into the boss door eventually if you survive, which will reveal something pretty huge and terrible, and you'll have to deal with it. Hopefully you have enough health potions at the end in order to be triumphant. All right, folks, so there's a whole slew of upcoming games. Here's a quick preview, some upcoming titles I'll be working on over the next couple weeks, so keep an eye out for those. And if you want any more information about Dungeon Brawler, please go watch my full preview. And if you want your game featured as a Dice Tower preview, please shoot me an email. All right, folks, until next time, we'll see you at the table.
Hey, board gamers. BJ from Board Game Gumbo here, back with another episode of Crowd Surfing Lanyap. That's right, I'm bringing you projects that won't break your budget, but throw in a little something extra. Here's what I'm checking out this week. I'm looking at 2 projects, both of which I've played in prototype form. Take a look. If you like card games with stunning art, you need to check out Fickle, designed by Glenn Cotter. Bard Games is kickstarting Fickle this week. It features the fairy art of Amy Brown, and this impressive and unique art fills up every card. It's sort of a set collection game, but with a twist. The game will come with unique family decks, each with 9 fairy cards that all share the same power. It could be mechanisms like Take That, or moving cards around, or changing the way that they score. The families are shuffled together, and then players deal cards and play cards in an attempt to build the strongest fairy alliance and win the queen's favor. You want to keep cards that score you points, but keeping those fickle fairies happy and in your alliance, that's the trick of the game. We went through a bunch of different fairy powers. They were all unique. There's a lot of player interaction in Fickle, so if that's your kind of game, quick playing, easy to teach, lots of interaction, you should check out Fickle from Bard Games out on Kickstarter right now. Next up, I like town building construction games, so this next one, Construction Fever from Ninja Star Games, caught my eye. The premise, pretty straightforward. Players are going to compete to earn the most profit as a construction company, but there's a catch. Your corporation needs to keep its reputation high in order to win. You can rake in a ton of cash if you build construction projects that are geared mainly for profit, or you can build green projects that are aimed to be environmentally friendly. They really boost your rep, but it takes a lot of your construction workers to build those green projects. Balancing out the 2 types of projects, that's the key to victory. I love the delicious bidding in the game. For the black projects, you compete to make the least amount of profit to win the project, and those credits end up on the green projects instead. But for the green projects, you gotta bid with workers, and there's only 10 total, so bidding gets pretty cutthroat. I love the ebb and flow as your workers go out to build projects and then come back and help you bid for more. It's fun to watch. Plus, the game's not expensive. For only $26 plus shipping, you get the base game with all you need to play, and for just $6 more, you get some Lanyap, a magnetic lid box, wooden pieces instead of tokens, and my favorite, dual layered player boards. Hey, so that's Fickle from Bard Games and Construction Fever from Ninja Star Games. Both games I've tried, both games I've enjoyed. Just remember that the art and components are not yet final. Until next time, laissez le bon temps rouler.
So then I said, I'll take both donkeys. Oh, hello.
Yes, well.
All right, what are we thinking about
I heard
today?
that one 1,000 times.
What are we thinking
before.
about today, Tom? What's in your mind?
So we just went to conventions.
True.
And one of the things at conventions that's always fascinating to me is the Kickstarter games that are there. So
You
there's
mean like Kickstarter games that they're showing there?
there's 3 groups. Well,
Okay.
there's 4.
4. Go.
There's the guys who are going to Kickstarter eventually. They're like, hey, back us on Kickstarter. It's coming up. It's starting in September. They give you a flyer that says save the date, basically.
Yeah.
That's right.
Then there's the guys who are on Kickstarter right now. They're like, you like this game? You play it?
Back it.
Here's a computer. Back it. Then there's the guys who are post Kickstarter and it's done. And they're like, hey, our game has been backed. Now you can buy it.
That one I don't even consider, like, I don't think of it as like a Kickstarter game. At that point, it's past the process.
Sure.
Okay?
Oh, the one I didn't mention? That's the guy who's like, I hope someone publishes my game and maybe I'll go to Kickstarter and here's a hand-drawn picture. And you laugh. You laugh.
Why is that character
Allowed to have a booth?
at conventions?
Because they don't know any better, usually. They're like, I need to get to a convention. A booth? Oh, it's like $300.
Someone told me I should go to a convention, so I'm going to go to the convention.
Yeah, and they don't know what they're doing, so I don't begrudge that. It's just that it's kind of like, you got a long way to go, baby. But it's those guys who are going to Kickstarter or are on Kickstarter right now. I get why you go to a convention. You show off your game and everything.
Sure.
But as a consumer, I'm not interested in that as much. I get that there's a benefit that you can actually test the game out and then decide if you want to back it or not.
Sure.
But as a consumer, when I go to a convention, I want to be able to pick up the game and buy it.
Okay.
And it can be frustrating when you go down a whole aisle and everything is coming soon. And it's convention of the future rather than
Right.
convention of what you can buy now.
Yeah.
And I don't think it should be that way, but my recommendation to convention people would be if people are going to Kickstarter, I'd like all those people to be in one place.
Like outside.
Have like a Kickstarter row.
Yeah, like
On the road. Outside the convention center. Is that what you're suggesting?
No, because then you have to walk through them to get to the convention hall. At least if it's one aisle in the convention hall, you
can
know
avoid
to.
it. Or you can go there.
Or you can
Honestly,
go
I
there,
think
yeah.
I understand it. If I was kickstarting a game, I would try to go to a convention, especially while the game's on Kickstarter,
Oh, sure, why not?
right? And be like, sit down, hey, you want to give it a shot? It's kind of like buying this sounds weird, but like buying a pair of pants or something on Amazon versus going to the store and trying them out, you
Yes.
know? You are gambling a little bit when you
Yeah.
back something. You can read the rule till the cows come home. You still haven't played that game.
Right.
So yeah, absolutely. The ones that bother me more, and this happened at the convention we were just at, is people who were there, they tell you the pitch, they're like, yeah, are you excited? September. And I'm like,
Say what?
dude, I'll forget I was here in
Yeah.
September. Never mind your game, you know?
Yeah.
That.
Right.
Why? I mean, again, there is a curve, a rising and falling action to hype. I think you're missing that curve by quite a bit.
Yeah, I don't know that do I want everyone to launch their Kickstarters during Gen Con?
Well, there's that, right? You are competing with other people. There's certainly that. But it's that idea of, it's like releasing a trailer for a movie 2 years before the movie comes out. That's not really doing you any actual favors.
They
It just
do
gives
that.
people more time to be like, yeah, let's nitpick it, and it doesn't look that good.
It does happen though.
It does, but it's not a good move. The people who know what they're doing don't.
Right.
I mean, like Star Wars. I mean, again, movies have a longer life cycle than
Remember,
a board
Solo
game.
did that. If you remember that, we saw the first teaser Solo trailer.
Right.
like a year and a half before the actual came out.
Sure.
And it was like piqued the interest, but then you forget about it a couple months later.
And then they didn't release one until
An actual
way
trailer.
last minute,
Right.
you know.
I mean, it's just an analogy. A movie takes a little bit more money than that guy's Kickstarter, but
Right.
that's what I mean. It just feels like they're missing that. I don't know how much excitement you're generating that will translate to sales. That's what I'm saying. You probably are just really wasting your money.
Well, let me ask you guys who are talking about other stuff in the comments. What do you, when you go to a convention, would you prefer to see Kickstarter games? Is that no problem to you? Or are you looking for published stuff you can buy now? And by the way, well, we're totally not talking today about the whole company selling games that shows before they send them to their backers. That's a different subject. We'll talk about that in the future.
Okay.
But when you go down an aisle, if you see they have no product for sale and they're just demoing, how do you feel about that? Again, I'm not saying people shouldn't do this.
Right.
I'm noticing that at some conventions, it's starting to become a very large percentage of the con.
True.
And then I get even more annoyed because the company will come there, they'll have a booth, they push the Kickstarter, and then I don't see them next year. Because they sold all their stock and they're done now.
They're good, right. Okay, yeah, that's true. That's interesting.
Gator Dave says, I want live games I can throw my money at, publish stuff so I can buy games from Lord X Mugen. Neo Closet Otaku says, I would look for both.
No, I mean, that's reasonable.
So, publish definitely. Cervantes. I like playing a Kickstarter game, especially if it's something I've backed or am considering backing. That's Jim.
And that's the value, sure.
Jim Pridgeon, yeah. That is the value of being able to physically interact with something that you've only digitally interacted with.
Agreed.
Has anyone ever gone to a convention, play tested a game that you already backed, and then you were like, nope? I'm sure that's happened before too.
I bet it has happened.
Superman says, I think it's a event organizers problem. They should look at 25% future, 75% present.
I agree. Because the Kickstarter people
Superman said that. That's awesome.
Did he?
Well, it's super as in like soup man. It's,
The man of soup.
yes.
Oh my word. Okay. Well, anyway, that's what I'm thinking about today. It's just interesting now. Like, we went to UK Games Expo. The first year Sam and I went, I thought there was too many Kickstarters. I really did. It's calmed down now, and that's not because there's fewer Kickstarters. It's because more publishers showed up.
Sure.
Actual publishers. Because Kickstarters will be the first people to throw money.
Yes.
I know this. If I run a small con somewhere, some guy will come in and be like, I'll buy a booth. I'll be like, I don't know who you are. Doesn't matter. I'll buy a booth. I got a game eventually, someday.
Yeah, Kabuki says that if she was to go to a con, she would avoid Kickstarter tables.
Yeah, we got to go to a con first. So.
Wow.
Take it.
Alrighty. Well, anyway, that's what I'm thinking. Let's jump to more contributors.
Sister Meeple here, bringing you my 5 most anticipated games launching on Kickstarter in early June of 2019. June 10th. Atomics is a card game portraying the elements of the periodic table through visual storytelling. Art was created by Extra Crunchy, a duo of artists from Israel, and it really is extraordinary. Take a look at art depicting heavy metals, radioactive, xenon, oxygen, and iridium. Gameplay is a bit of a mystery, but I look forward to learning more about it. June 11th. Illicit Investments is the second expansion to Stockpile, the stock trading game by Navu Games. This expansion offers a new module called Investment Strategies that will influence your actions every round. Falsify earnings, conduct cowboy marketing, or pump and dump a company's stock. June 11th will also bring us Sovereign Skies by Deepwater Games. On the edge of space, a system of colonized planets strives to form a new democracy. Occupy colonies and recruit politicians to gain influence and power for your faction in this epic rondel strategy game. Playtime is only 45 minutes. June 17th. Fans of Thunderstone Quest will be happy to see New Horizons, an expansion which features 2 all-new quests, Vengeful Sands and Clockwork Destiny, plus a promo guardian. Also announced are 4th level heroes. June 19th. Last but not least, Dwellings of Eldervale blends worker placement, area control, engine building, and unique worker units. Giant elemental monsters roam while dragons, wizards, and warriors battle for dominance over 8 elemental realms. In the end, the player with the most elemental dominance among the multiple paths to victory will reign over Eldervale. The next 2 weeks may be looking pretty quiet on Kickstarter, but I think there are some hidden gems.
This episode is brought to you by GameFound. Create a free pledge manager for your project.
Hey folks, and welcome to FOMO, the segment where I take a look at a game that's seeking crowdfunding right now, and maybe I have a fear of missing out on it, maybe you do too, and we'll go ahead and take a look together. Today, we're going to take a look at The Goblin King is Angry, and we're starting right now. The Goblin King is Angry is a reverse tower defense game where players are trying to topple the castle in the center of the board. Each player has their own unique goblin general that has their own ability, and the end is trying to surround the castle with the number of goblins required, which is the number of players times 5, and the player who last adds a goblin to that will be the winner. On a player's turn, they're first going to add 4 goblins out into their particular encampment. You can never have more than 4 goblins worth of value in a specific spot. And then if they wish, they could spend stones to gain additional goblins up to a max of 4 more. And they can also spend stones to upgrade. So I could spend this and 2 stones here, maybe upgrade to a hobgoblin. Next up is the movement and attack phase, where all players will be moving their goblins on the board 1 space towards the castle. And they always just need to be moving towards the castle. So maybe I move these here, and move this one here. After the movement, you're going to be checking to see if you can defeat any tokens that perhaps are in your way. Let's say that this was here. They would check to see if they have the value printed on it in order to defeat it. This particular one requires 4 touching it. They do, so they would get rid of this, and they would gain a stone for their efforts. After all the players have advanced, then the player with the King's Ear is going to draw the top card from the deck, and they're going to resolve it. And this is going to put out an archer. So we've got one of these tokens here. This will be discarded, and they can place this wherever they want. Maybe next to their own, maybe next to their opponent. Let's say they decide to put it here. Now, on these tokens, there's going to be a symbol for how many goblins defeat it, and there's also going to be a direction that it attacks and how much damage it does. After this, then, starting with the next player, they can choose if they wish to buy a card for a stone. Then the next player, if they wish, could buy for 2 stones. And you can either use the card right away or store it for later. So let's say this one decides to buy, and nothing else is bought. And after everyone has decided if they're going to buy that, then the castle and the tokens out are going to do their damage. So as we said earlier, this one would do 5 this way, so it's going to remove these 2. And the castle is going to deal 1 to every hex. So it's going to remove 1 here, 1 here. It's going to remove all of these singles and remove this one as well. After this, each player is going to receive 1 stone. The King's Ear is going to be passed to the next player in clockwise order, and we're going to begin another round of play. Play continues until a player declares victory by being the player to add the final goblin to the number needed to defeat the castle, and they are the winner. All right, so that is an overview of The Goblin King is Angry. Now that is a prototype copy, and I'm happy to say they were kind enough to send that over. And they actually sent this before they were going to launch originally a few months ago, and I got to play it, and I really enjoyed it. But then the launch got delayed, and I got to play it again, getting ready for this particular video. And I liked it better before than I like it now, and it's nothing to do with the gameplay. It's to do with the fact that now they've unlocked the custom meeples, and I really wish that I had those. Now, one thing about me is I don't typically enjoy tower defense games. I typically complain that I want to be the hordes attacking the castle. That's what this game is. So this game fit the bill for exactly what I wanted in a tower defense game. I want to be the hordes. I really do enjoy the fact that this game feels like a co-op, and in some ways it is a co-op, but it also, I get to be the winner. One person gets to win the game. So you get to be the last person that impresses the Goblin King and dives that last spear into the castle and takes it over. I really enjoyed the simplicity of the game. I can teach this really easy to players. They pick it up really fast. I enjoy the way I can upgrade my units. I enjoy those cards, the castle cards, as they come out, and I like how I can put them out, but they also have to come out, and the units really do add this layer of interestingness to the game that I really did enjoy, and I actually sometimes found myself putting units in front of my units so that way I could defeat them and get those additional stones. So overall, if you are looking for a castle defense game, but you want something that is the opposite, this is a game to take a look at. The artwork in this game is amazing. That's what drew me in and why I wanted to look at the game to begin with. So if the game interests you, go ahead, check out their crowdfunding page, and I look forward to seeing you folks next episode.
This is Jamie from Stonemaier Games, and today I'm going to talk about the backer survey that you send out after your project ends. Kickstarter allows creators to send out one official survey to all backers to make sure that they have their address correct, and that if you have any other information that you need from backers, like how many games they backed, how many add-ons they backed, just in case that information is hard to tell from the amount that they paid, you get that one survey that you can send out to your backers. Alternatively, you can use a third-party pledge manager like CrowdOx, BackerKit, and Pledge Manager, and I'll talk about that in a second. The first thing I want to talk about is timing, when to send out the backer survey. Typically on my projects, I would send out the survey right away. And that is because with my projects, I was ready to go to print right after the project ended. And so I needed to know how many copies to actually make. Not just for the main game, but also for maybe the premium version or any special add-ons that I was making. I needed to know those quantities, and I needed to get that information from backers. The risk in doing that, though, is that backers often have address updates if there's a big gap in time between when you send the survey and then when you actually ship out the game. So Kickstarter does allow for backers to update their address information through Kickstarter at any time if you leave that option open, but sometimes you might want to consider closing that gap. But the key point in time that you want to send that survey is when you need to know the quantities to actually make and send to backers. So the big debate with backer surveys is, do you use Kickstarter's survey or do you use a third-party pledge manager like CrowdOx, BackerKit, or Pledge Manager? My most recent survey, before this video, last week I ran a survey among the readers of my blog. I've run these before, but every year there's a trend that I've noticed, and this year the trend really comes to light. The survey indicated that 70% of people who have a preference, 70% of backers who have any preference at all, prefer that you use Kickstarter's survey for very simple projects. Like if there's only 1 or 2 pledge levels, there's no add-ons, very simple, you pledged it, you backed it, you want to get your reward. They prefer that you use Kickstarter for that. However, if you have any sort of complexity in the project, maybe there are a number of back-ons, maybe there were stretch goals that required back-ons or many different reward levels, backers prefer you use a third-party pledge manager. So simple for Kickstarter, complex for Pledge Manager. 70% of people prefer that. Beyond that, 21% of people prefer the Pledge Manager, just outright, always they prefer it, and then only 9% prefer the Kickstarter survey, always. So I would take that into consideration. If your project is complex, use a Pledge Manager. If your project is simple, use the Kickstarter survey. If you do use the Kickstarter survey, one little technique I used is I would send out, you send it out for every reward tier. So I would send it out for one tier and then wait like 30 minutes to an hour before sending out another, just in case I messed up with the wording, if backers have a lot of questions, if some of the survey results come in and they're a little weird, I might look at that first before sending it out to the next tier. And also, just a quick note, some people will never fill out the survey. There are some backers you will never hear from. I still get updates now from Euphoria, a project I ran 5 years ago. I still get people who just now realize, hey, I never filled out that survey, and they fill it out. So no matter how much you send out the survey or remind people after you send out the survey, some people just are never going to do it. And at a certain point, you need to decide, this is my cutoff. I'm cutting it off after this. I'm not going to accept any other surveys, and I'll just refund everyone who didn't fill out the survey. Or don't refund it. You can decide how ethically you want to deal with that. If you have any other thoughts about the backer survey, I have a bunch of posts about this on my Kickstarter Lessons blog, or you can post in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks.
Hello! That was a lot of insightful insights.
All right. Well, that's that.
Insightful insight.
One of those things that you saw there, the Dwellings of Eldervale, we are playing on Friday.
Friday.
So come in and see that game being played.
Yep.
But before Friday is Thursday. So tomorrow, live board game breakfast.
For Friday is Thursday. Oh, Snapple.
And our top 10 language independent games. So fun times all around. I didn't say mute games.
I know. Language independent means I distance myself from language to play it, right? Like things like Hanabi with charades.
Sure. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. We'll see you soon, everybody.
Sam Healy. See you on the flip side, folks.
When did you become the most normal guy here?